Hare Krishna. So I welcome you for this Bhakti Shastri class. I beg apologies that the last time we could not have class, but sometimes some things get so much uh, unavoidable that I had to not take the class last time. So let's start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we were studying the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the opulence of the Absolute, wherein in the first three shlokas we saw that Krishna is unknowable and he is the source of everything. And nobody knows, how Krishna is the origin of everything. It's like a mystery for everybody. And of course, if Krishna is the origin of all the qualities also and all the personalities also, but then when somebody accepts this, accepting that will, give him surrender. That we'll be seeing in this particular shloka, where he says that etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo vetti tatvatah so avikalpena yogena yujyate natra sanshaya. So he says that one who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. So he says that because when a person will have the highest faith and uh, he will understand, etam vibhuti yogam cha, one who understands this vibhuti. Vibhuti means opulence. So what is that vibhuti? The vibhuti is that I am the source of all quality and I am the source of all people also. Mam yo veti tattvataha. Those who will understand this tattva, then they will come back to me. And then he's saying that, so vikalpa yogena. So see, vikalpa means, diversion. Okay. And uh, or division, or you can say something, some alternative design. So they're saying there is no other distraction of this division. आपको कोई distraction नहीं होगा. You will not get distracted. So, and he's saying that yogena yujyate na atra samshaya. See, yoga means that there are two types of, sadhana. So, one sadhana is that by which we connect. Okay. And then uh, uh, and Krishna's mercy by which we get connected. So the first yoga we can say is Etam Vibhutim Yogam. So his power or his revelation that will help us to connect to Krishna, or which will facilitate that connection. One yoga. And yoga, another yoga is that that yoga, no, how will I explain that? Yoga can also refer to spiritual practice which will facilitate the connection. So Krishna is saying that Vikalpena Yogena. So without any deviation, that person will be wholeheartedly in yoga or connection with me. And then he's saying that yujyate natra samshaya. He will be engaged in that particular yoga, and then there is no doubt about it. Of course, he will also not have any doubt, and he will be properly fixed. So, see, because once someone understands Krishna, he understands that there is no reality beyond Krishna. And he will wholeheartedly just surrender to Krishna. So that is why he's saying that na atra samshaya. And then that is why he's saying that avikalpena. So see, in the third shloka also, if you see, he says, that by knowing him, one will become free from all sins, right? But the life's perfection is not freedom from sins, but uh, for us devotees, our life's perfection is that spontaneous, uh, devotion or the raga for Krishna, which will happen. This is what he's saying over here. So wholeheartedly he will engage in devotional service or bhakti. So when we understand this, that see, everything is coming from Krishna, including myself also, then we will fall in love with Krishna. And see, when we talk about even gyan, gyan doesn't lead to bhakti, but it is impersonal, because gyan or knowledge about Krishna increases bhakti. So the more I am taking knowledge of Krishna, the more I am, inclined or very swabhaviki, very naturally, I would love to serve Krishna. So, because when we come to know that, oh, how great Krishna is and he's so wonderful, and that naturally attracts us more and more towards Krishna. And that is why, Prabhupada also in the purport is saying that we should not neglect this knowledge about Krishna. Knowledge about anything else other than Krishna should be neglected. But knowledge about Krishna should not be neglected, because only knowledge about Krishna will help us to get attracted to Krishna, love him and serve him. So even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, if you see, where he said that Siddhanta Baliye, what is that shloka? Siddhanta Baliye chitte na kari alas. Iha hite Krishna lage sudrid manasa. So a very sincere student should not neglect the discussions uh, or the knowledge of the conclusions of the Shastras, and he should not consider them even controversial. And that is why, when these discussions happen in the association of devotees, then what happens is it strengthens our mind. And and that person or the devotee, he becomes more and more attracted to Krishna. And that is why, if you see, why Srila Prabhupada has kept morning and evening, morning Bhagavatam discussion and evening Bhagavad Gita discussions, because Prabhupada wanted that his disciples become, well versed with the science of God, or become well versed with the knowledge about Krishna that will help him to serve Krishna more and more. Right? Okay, so let's go to the next shloka. So see, if you see in your, Subodhini, he's saying that the acharyas actually, if you see in the Subodhini also, these are commentaries by the acharyas. So the Subodhini says that the highest summit of spiritual perfection is knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, people know that God is great, but they do not know in detail how God is great. And how God is great will be given in section 8, 9, 10, and 11. So from here starts the Chatushloki, Bhagavad Gita, a very important section of the Bhagavad Gita. And that is why I had halted last time, because I wanted to discuss the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita in details. So, and if you see, even Srila Ramanujacharya has written, in nutshell of the Bhagavad Gita, and many teachers have even adopted that. And how these verses, these shlokas are so very, significant in terms of the content also and the context also. All these four shlokas are, related to each other. And uh, in the last verses, Krishna is giving the instructions. So let's see that. So Krishna says that Aham sarvasva prabhavo matta sarva pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samanvita. So he says that I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So he says that, see, if you see this flow of, this Chatushloki, is that over here in this shloka, he's giving just the, summary. And he will elaborate in the 9th, 10th, and the 11th. Because over here he's saying that those who are knowing me, who are the source, I'm the source of everything, they become, enlightened. When he says Buddha, the learned, or, he becomes enlightened. And he becomes devoted to me. Buddha Bhava Samanvita. He becomes devoted me wholeheartedly. With great attention means only, why will a particular person put attention to someone? Because his whole heart is actually with that person. So, and how that person will become devoted to me will be explained in the 9th shloka. And how they will become enlightened or Buddha or the learned, then that is explained in the, 10th and the 11th. Of course, in the 10th, Krishna gives even the Buddhi Yoga also. by which, or the intelligence also by which that his devotee can come back to him also. And how Krishna gives that buddhi, that is also given in the 11th shloka. So how Krishna gives that buddhi? So how a soul, when he understands Krishna's position, like of course in this 8th shloka is given that anybody who understands that I am the source of everything, and everything is coming from me only, right? When he understands that, okay, this is Krishna's position, then he says, oh, he's the source of everything. I should become devoted to him. Then he becomes devoted. And then he becomes enlightened. And that's how, the head and the heart both are fixed with Krishna only. And of course, the acharyas say that these 4 shlokas are connected with Sambandh, Abhidhe, and Prayojan. Just give me a minute. So the 8th shloka is speaking about even the Sambandha also and the Abhidhe also. The 9th shloka is speaking about even the Abhidhe and the Prayojan also. The 10th and the 11th are speaking about even Abhidhe also. And even the Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions that Sambandha of Krishna, Abhideya is the, Bhakti, and Prema is the Prayojan. So see, Sambandh means kya? Sambandh means हम किसके साथ connection जोड़ रहे? With whom are we getting connected? So my Sambandh is with whom? With Krishna. So I'm getting connected with Krishna. Then Abhideya. Abhideya means the path. Which path I'm, what is that activity when I'm actually walking on that particular path? So what am I doing? Bhakti. Bhakti means loving service to the Supreme Lord. But my goal is what? My goal means, final goal, the destination. My final goal is what? My final goal is that Prayojan. Prayojan means the goal. So that my final goal is Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema means what? To give Prem and in return get also Prem. Getting Prem is a byproduct. But first, I am giving that Prema. So, and for that, the highest, devotees are the Brajavasis. The Brajavasis only love Krishna exclusively. Their focus is only on Krishna and nobody else. So for them, that Prayojan is, and that Prayojan does not end by going to Goloka. Finish. I reached Goloka, bas finish. My Prayojan is over. No. Actually, that Prayojan keeps on continuing. This Samman, Abhide, and Prayojan, they are there in the spiritual world also. Constantly, every minute, every nanosecond, I am striving to please Krishna only and give him that love that he deserves from me, because I come from him and he is my source. So that is that, with that knowledge, the Brajavasis, of course, there is an Avaran Shakti also, there is a covering also, that for them, they are so much intoxicated with Krishna's love that they cannot see anything beyond Krishna. So that is why he's saying that I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds and everything. So when he's saying that, uh, 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 I am the source of everything and everything in him. So it looks like, okay, it's repetition, previously also, there is pravartate word used, and I am only the source and I am only maintaining everything. So when there is because see, sometimes in theism also, we have a creator and we have the controller, and then only the creator, but Sometimes some people say that, okay, they can only be a creator but not a controller, or neither somebody can be a creator nor a controller. But no, in this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that uh, Krishna is the judge for those who don't want uh, him to interfere, and those who, and for means, for example, I don't want, anybody to interfere, even not even God to interfere. But there are other people, those who turn towards God, those who turn towards Krishna, and they say that yes, Krishna is a person or God is a person, and he is only the source and the sustainer of all the material worlds. So that is why saying that iti matva, those who understand that I am the source and the sustainer. So then what will happen to such a person? One who knows that, okay, I am the source also. Of course, Krishna is the source and the sustainer also. So he will do bhajate mam. And bhajate means, because see, in the 6th chapter also, we have seen the word bhajate. But when we say bhajate over here, is more of a, advanced level bhajate. So over here, bhajate means he will wholeheartedly offer himself to Krishna, which is not some very, a ritualistic offering, which is a very, natural and a practical offering that he is doing of himself. So, and what way this worship is going on? This worship is going on with intelligence, Buddha. And uh, because of course, when I said that Buddha previously, when I said it was enlightening. So yes, uh, intelligence related with Buddha will enlighten one. So when he's saying that Buddha bhava samanvita. So when I say bhava samanvita means what? I will have emotions of my heart involved in that particular activity of the service to Krishna. So, uh, uh, I will not do any ritualistic worship. Okay, every day I have to chant, and every day I have to do this, and every day I have to do this, No, I will have my head and my heart both involved in that particular activity. Both very cautiously, I will be doing that activity, understanding that I am serving a person who is the source of uh, everything, and who is the sustainer of everything. Okay. So that is why if you see in Prabhupada's purport also, he's saying that mm, hmm, Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Gapyati Sama Krishna. See, it was Krishna who's in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge, right? The first verse only of the Bhagavatam starts with Tene Brahmarada Adi Kavaye, right? Who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again, the Narayana Upanishad says that Atha Purusho Havai Narayano Kamyat Prajata Shreti. Then, the Supreme Personality Narayan desired to create living entities, right? So, uh, Krishna is the source of all. So, sometimes somebody might think that what are the alternative sources? Some people might they think about that. So people may think that Brahma is the source or Lord Shiva is the source, which is actually not the fact that is stated over here. And that is why he's saying that Narayan Upanishad also is saying that Narayanat Brahma Jayate, Narayanat Prajapati Prajayate, Narayanat Indro Jayate, Narayanat Asto. So all this is continuing because from Narayan only Brahma is born, and the Prachetas are born, and Indra is born, and all the 8 Vasus are born, and even the 11 Rudras are born, the 12 Adityas are born. So Narayan is the expansion of Krishna over here. So when we study scriptures, uh, the details of process of creation of the living entities are given. If you see in canto number 2, that whole detail is given, right, of the process of creation. And not every time the same process is followed. There can be variations also in different universes. So Krishna need not have to follow the uh, same rigid pattern every time. So here it is said that Shiva came from Narayan, but the Bhagavatam says that Shiva came from Lord Brahma. So the point is that Narayana's arrangement, and that Lord Narayan is the original source, and these personalities have not directly come from Narayan, but it can also happen that in some universe, if that is Lord's will, then they can come from each other, like so. So the Bhagavatam is defining various genealogies. If you see in the 4th canto, also very big genealogies there, or but understanding that everything ultimately is coming from Krishna only. So where he's saying that uh, mm, the Lord is desiring, to create everything, and the souls are eternal as such. So when he's saying that when the Lord desires to create and the souls are eternal, so he's saying that um, mm, he's not referring that time to the spiritual world, okay? Because in the spiritual world, creation is already done, and that is a permanent creation that is not going to vary at all. But he's saying that the beginning of this universe, so the souls who has already come into this material world, or they wanted to come in this material world, then the Lord gives them the body. And that is why he says that uh, uh, in the Vedas, it is said that Krishna is that same source of uh, he's the son of Devaki, and Krishna is the same supreme personality of Godhead. There is no difference between the supreme personality of Godhead and Krishna. They both are one only. There are no two different personalities. There's only one personality. So that is why saying that um, uh, he's speaking about much about actually creation also over here, and how the different sections of the Shastras give different meanings. And even the Mahabharata also, speaks about Krishna, that Krishna is saying that Rudra and Prajapati, they are created by me only. And in many other Puranas, like even the Mahabharata or Varaha Puran, or, so in the sense that he's saying that Krishna is the source of everything. And so when I'm saying about this Sambandha means aham sarvasva prabhavo matta sarvam paravartate. So this is actually the Sambandha. I know my Sambandha. I know my relationship with whom I'm going to serve, or am I serving. And then bhajate mam is my abhideya. And uh, bhava samanvita is like that emotion, uh, which is one of the aspects of love for Krishna, is actually my prayojan. So, like that, Samman, Abhide and Prayojan actually has been talked about in this particular shloka. So let's go to the next shloka. So in the next shloka, he's going to discuss about what are the symptoms of these pure devotees. So if somebody understands that yes, Krishna is the source of all the spiritual and the material worlds, and everything is emanating from him only, and those now who know this, they are engaging in my devotional service with all their hearts. So then what are the symptoms of such people? So he's saying that mat chitta mat gata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nitya tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So he says that thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So, this is my abhideya. This is my path. That what am I going to do after I'm convinced about that Krishna is the source of everything and Krishna is the source of all the spiritual and material worlds and everything is emanating from him. Then I actually start serving Krishna. I start giving him satisfaction. I start giving him love as such. So he's saying that mat chitta. Mat chitta means what? That I'm offering my consciousness or my mind to Krishna. And that is why, if you see, when Prabhupada is translating this, their minds fully engaged in me. He's saying that. So, and then he's saying that, and Prabhupada is saying, see, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me, right? So, when we love Krishna, then Krishna becomes our inner home. When we love Krishna, then Krishna becomes our inner home. We may have many different, mental homes, uh, some people might hoover on the cricket games, and some people might hoover on movies and, sense gratification. And if we have nothing else or nothing to do, then our mind goes there, where to cricket and movies and all these. So the whole purpose of bhakti is to make Krishna our inner home. And that is why if you see in the Bhagavatam also, in the second canto, is it the fifth one? The sound incarnation was Supreme Lord entered Jiva. Yeah, the sixth one, yeah. धौतात्मा पुरुष कृष्ण पादमूलं न मुञ्चति मुक्त सर्व परिक्ले sorry मुक्त सर्व परिक्लेश पान्थ स्वशरणं यथा. A pure devotee of the Lord whose heart has once been cleansed by the process of devotional service never relinquishes the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, for they fully satisfy him, as a traveler is satisfied at home after a troubled journey. Relinquish means does not leave, he does not give up the lotus feet of Krishna. So he's saying that, uh, Pantaha, this traveler, and Sarva Sharanam Yatha, saying that one's own shelter, his own home, because this traveler, after a very long journey, when he comes back and he's feeling very much comfortable, he feels very much joyous or happy and loved, and so much of security he's thinking, and does not want to leave again. So he's saying that Dhaut Atma, whose heart is completely cleansed and purified. So, uh, uh, and when his heart is completely, cleansed and purified, then such a person, what will he do? Krishna Pad Moolanam Na Munchati. He will never give up the lotus feet of Krishna. Why he will never give up the lotus feet of Krishna? So ahead he's saying that Mukta Sarva Pariklesha Pantaha. So he's saying Mukta Sarva Pariklesha means one is freed from all the miseries of life. सारे क्लेश उसके दूर हो जाते हैं, and that is why this devotee's life, it works that way. And then in his life, everything else may agitate him, the mind may agitate him, but when we bring the mind, or when he brings the mind to Krishna, then the mind will become peaceful. And see, if you see, even in normal cases also, a person first time enters the ISKCON temple, first time, right? There also he gets a glimpse of, he feels that, oh, I have no miseries only in life. When he takes darshan, when he's hearing, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra Kirtan, he has so much of peace and positive energy, revolving around him. So his mind becomes peaceful, because, like for example, outside there might be scorching heat, but when I come home and the AC is on, and all of a sudden, the scorching heat outside does not affect me inside. Inside, I'm very cool and I feel very comfortable. So, if you see, in one of the classes, I had heard that we have three primary faculties of our existence. And this is what actually is being even described over here, that he's saying that mat chitta, okay, in this shloka. Mat chitta means what? Mera mind, my mind. Matagata means what? My life itself, or my body, their lives devoted to me. So when I say matagata prana, when I say that, so my life or my body. And the whole existence is offered to Krishna. So the devotees, life, or the devotees, living his whole life simply for the purpose of serving Krishna, and no other purpose he has. And that is why he's saying that bodhayanta, when, when somebody is speaking, then we are understanding, right? Or when I am speaking, even I myself am understanding what I'm speaking. And when others are speaking, then I'm understanding, right? Bodhayanta. And he's saying that parasparam. Bodhayanta means what? Amongst each other. What are we speaking? Kathayanta, when we speak. So, and every day, Nityam, forever. It's not like that today I speak and tomorrow I don't speak, or today I'm hearing, but tomorrow I don't hear. No, it is going on forever. What is going on forever? That when somebody is speaking, I am hearing, and when I am speaking, somebody else is hearing, and these discussions are going on. Morning Bhagavatam discussions, the Bhagavad Gita discussions, these are going on for ever, Nityam. And when these discussions are going on forever, then what is happening? Tushyanti. I am actually uh, Tushyanti means what? It is satisfaction, becoming pleased, uh, satisfied with that uh, current level of advancement, right? Because somebody might say, oh, I did not deserve, what I got, but I don't deserve this, what I'm getting also. So he's satisfied. And then after becoming satisfied, what is happening? Tushyanti cha, he's becoming he's becoming Ramanti also. He's becoming delighted. He's becoming, he's being immersed in that Madhurya Ras. And about what is going to come in this future. So he's enjoying that transcendental bliss also. And that is why, uh, if you see the same, has been exhibited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Gambhira, Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So the body, mind, and speech or words are all used in the service of Krishna. And this joy of Krishna Katha is even greater than the greatest joy in this material existence. So when two like-minded people, they come together, and like this, taste this, devotees come together and then they discuss Krishna Katha, and then they discuss about Krishna. There is no parallel joy in the whole world than discussing Krishna Katha. And that is why Prabhupada also is writing in the, somewhere he's writing in the purport. He's writing about the Bhakti Lata Beach and Shravan Kirtan. Hmm. The devotional service is just like a seed, and if it is sown in the heart of a living entity, it goes on hearing and chanting. Shravan Kirtan, And that is why this particular verse, you can say, is speaking about how joyful is the association of devotees in bhakti and association of like-minded devotees. That yes, even he wants to, learn to love Krishna. He also wants to serve. Even I have that same, mood. Let's get together and, start, studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, association of this. So that is why it is talking about this Abhideya. Abhideya means how to practice devotional service. And uh, uh, and when you practice devotional service, what are you going to get? You're going to get this, delight, that, Tushan teacher, Raman teacher. And it's also talking about the prayojan, that not only you get to Shanti Charamandi, but Krishna also equally, is enjoying, because you have made, Krishna as your inner home. So let's go to the next. So, when he's saying over here that, devotional service or bhakti is giving him this inner satisfaction, when so there are two stages. One is the sadhana stage and one is the sadhya stage. Sadhana stage means we are practicing over here right now. But the sadhya stage is the perfected state. When you perfect, so I always say that our sadhana and sadhya both are the same. Here also I am doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And after going to the spiritual world also, I am doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Right? So there is a greater joy that this devotee is experiencing by glorifying Krishna, and uh, his spiritual bliss is above the three modes of material nature. But how does he grasp Krishna, who is infinite, in this form, qualities, and his powers, and who's giving Krishna, who's giving him the method of realizing himself? So this next verse is actually speaking about how devotees worship Krishna and how Krishna is reciprocating with them. So he's saying that it's a very nice shloka, 10.10. See, these Chatur Shlokis, why are we able to relish? Because we have crossed from chapter 1 to chapter 10. That is why we'll be able to relish these shlokas. Otherwise, just reading Chatur Shloki will not be enough. You have to understand the whole background for that. And then understanding that background, when you understand these shlokas, it will be more relishable and it will help us to be more serious. So he's saying that Tesham satata yuktanam bhajata priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. He says that to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So he's saying that Tesham, those, those people, means the previous verse is speaking about, those people, right? So those people. And he's saying that, uh, because see, in the previous verse, it's talk about that Abhideya, and how that, those people who are practicing, they are speaking about Krishna, they are hearing about Krishna, and that is why, Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha, that delight, is there, they're talking about the Prayojan also. So, uh, this 10th shloka is talking about even the Abhideya. Of course, even the 11th shloka speaks about the Abhideya. But this 10th shloka is also speaking about the Abhideya, means how to practice devotion. Abhideya means how to practice devotion. So he's saying that Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajata Priti Purvakam. So, devotees, let them, the devotees be engaged in bhakti with affection and devotion. So, bhajata means what? He is, engaged with affection and, sorry, Preeti Purvakam is, affection. Bhajatam means he has some, uh, you know, uh, uh, he has some, what do you say, inclination towards doing devotional service. But there has to be affection also. So when I say that bhakti with affection and devotion, so Preeti Purvakam. So when I say Preeti Purvakam, that means that what? He's engaged uh, affectionately, but not, you know, like, not very grudgingly or, resentfully. Like, because sometimes, some people they think I have no choice now and, I have to do bhakti. Or, okay, I don't like to chant, but I'm chanting. Like, okay, because I've given, vachan to my Guru Maharaj and, have taken a vow that I'll chant 16 rounds. So that is resentfully, not wholeheartedly. You do bhakti as well. Uh, so then what will happen is that we prevent Krishna from giving us what he's wanting to give us. But when we do bhakti, with affection and devotion, that he will give us what he wants to give us, right? And that is why what he's going to give us, he's saying that dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna is saying, I give them the buddhi, or I give them the intelligence, or I give them real intelligence, yenama upayantite, by which he can come to me. So see, when we speak about buddhi yoga, buddhi plus yoga, it's a compound word, you can say. And even in the second chapter also, we have seen, buddhi yoga, acting intelligently, for the purpose of yoga or connecting to Krishna. So there Krishna did not speak about himself so much. But here the meaning is that now you've got the knowledge of this body and soul to do yoga, so that you can connect with this higher spiritual reality. So there it was not told that, okay, what is that higher spiritual reality? But here it is clearly said that Krishna is he clearly saying that I am that highest spiritual reality. So I am the absolute truth, and I am the knowledge. I give knowledge by which you can come back to me. So see, um, uh, yeah, these four verses now, for these Mayavadis now, these four verses are very headache verses. Why headache मतलब क्या, बहुत दिमाग को दर्द देता है. Krishna is talking about himself very directly. And so they say here that Krishna is saying, by doing bhakti, buddhi will come. So buddhi is the highest, means what? Uh, Gyan, which is used for impersonal merging, they say that it is because this explanation actually now over here is completely not wanted. It's completely unwanted over here. Because Krishna is saying that what is the result of that buddhi? The result of buddhi is yenama upayantite. You will come back to me. है ना? So Krishna is not saying that I will give you buddhi by which you will go to Brahman, or you'll go to some other reality, or you'll go to some Paramatma, or you'll go to some reality which is beyond me also. No, Krishna is directly saying that you will come to me. So Buddhi Yoga, as I was previously also saying, that it has two meanings. Buddhi, which helps us to do yoga, or yoga, which grants us buddhi, intelligence. So when I say buddhi, which helps us to do yoga, means what? Krishna will give me that buddhi, or Krishna will give me that intelligence. Like when we say that anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam. Okay. So yoga, which is granting me buddhi, where it says that uh, what is the shloka? 1.2.6. Trinvatasva katha Krishna. Uh, hmm. And where he's saying that Savai Pumsa Paro Dharma Yato Bhaktir Adoshaja Ahetu ki Apratiyata Yayatma Suprasiddhati. Now from here till that whole, there is a series, if you see, where he's saying that the supreme occupation of all humanity that which man can attain to devotional service unto the transcendental Lord, such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. Unmotivated means what? There should be no motivation. That okay, if I chant, I will get this and I will get that. Or underinterrupted. Today I will do and tomorrow maybe I'll not do, and like. But this will not satisfy the self. Breakage in devotional service not satisfy. When you do it consistently, without any motivation, without any interruption, then it will satisfy the self. And then he's saying that by rendering devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. So we understand this science, right? And then he's saying the occupational activities of a man performs according to his own position are only much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whatever activities I'm doing, it is just shram eva hi kevalam, because it is not giving me attraction for the message of the Supreme Lord. And again, he's saying that in the next slokas, he's saying, Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah bhagavad tattva vigyanam mukta sangasya jayate. So you see, at a very foundational level, if you see in Prabhupada's purport also over here, Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna conscious devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and the bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know the goal is that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively transversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. So, at a very foundational level, we should know the goal and who is giving because if we know the goal, but path kya hai? So the scriptures are giving us that particular path. And that path is what? Rendering devotional service. And Krishna is giving us that intelligence. And when Krishna gives us that intelligence, then this path becomes more clearer. Of course, in the next shloka, he'll say that I will come with the torchlight. अभी एक रास्ते में अगर अंधेरा है, if there on the path if there is darkness, then if somebody gives us a torch or he throws light, then the path becomes more clear. I can see. Or if the sun rises, then the path becomes more clearer, right? In the darkness you cannot. So we wanted to study scriptures so that we wanted to love Krishna. This study is not to intellectually scrutinize Krishna. It is to intellectually submit to Krishna. I don't have to scrutinize Krishna. Let me see, how this Krishna is. Not that way. You don't scrutinize Krishna. And that is why when we study the scriptures, what happens is it removes our misconceptions about Krishna or about that process. And it increases our conviction by which we can go back home, back to God, to Krishna. So that is why studying scriptures is so very important. I always say, to everybody whom I meet, you please study Bhagavatam, you please study Bhagavad Gita. When you will study, all your misconceptions will be removed. There are so many thousands of misconceptions that we have, but all these misconceptions will be really clarified when you study scriptures slowly and steadily. Okay, so let's go to the next shloka. See, the acharyas, in the Subodhini, they are saying that somebody he knows the goal, but he's too attached to fruitic activities. So he's a karma yogi. But when he knows that the goal is Krishna and he takes pleasure in that mental speculation to understand Krishna, then he's a jnana yogi. And when he knows the goal and he seeks Krishna completely, then he's acting in bhakti yoga or buddhi yoga. And this only bhakti yoga is the highest perfection stage. So ahead he's saying that if that particular person, because see, Krishna said that I will give you buddhi. Now somebody might ask that how Krishna will give buddhi. So then in this particular shloka, Krishna says that how will I give buddhi to that person? So he says that Tesham evanukampartham aham ajnanajam tama nashya nashyayam sorry nashyayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. So he says that to show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Such a nice, shloka. This is Krishna's, special mercy, anukampa, tesham evanukampartham. I will show them special mercy. And how will I show them special mercy? Aham ajnanajam tamaham. So the whatever is born of ignorance, wherever there will be darkness, tamas or tamaha is called, darkness, tamoguna. I will destroy that darkness. I will destroy that ignorance. And nashyami atma bhavasto atma bhava. So when I say that nashyami means what? That I will destroy, I will dispel that. So, because see, I am situated in everybody's heart. Krishna is saying, right? That as a Paramatma, Krishna is situated in every living entity's heart, right? And he's saying that I will destroy. Sitting in that heart, I will destroy. But how will he destroy? Jnana deepena bhasvata. So he will destroy it by the torchlight of knowledge. See, darkness can be destroyed only by light, right? When at night, there is complete darkness. But when the sun comes as a light. So when darkness comes, it will confuse us. Oh, where should I go? What is the direction? I don't know. When I'm on a particular path, when there is darkness, I'm confused. And um, and we want to, lit out the world immediately. But we don't think that, okay, there is an inner world also. So when I say inner home and inner world and all, so actually that is my heart, my soul, right? So we don't think about our inner world. Our inner world is actually, covered, or it is enveloped, band hai. An envelope, how it is covered. with, blinding and binding this darkness also. So binding means from that darkness, suddenly some nasty desire will, come up, and some negative feelings will also, come up. There'll be doubt also coming up, and that will trouble us too much. And when it is troubling us, it is tormenting us, it is draining us away. And ultimately, what happens? It is defeating me also. So I don't know what is good for me and what is bad for me, right? And we do not know that what, in fact, we do not even know what is there in our heart. So when some emotions come, we cannot identify that, yes, these are my enemies that have come within me. And I think, oh, it is my emotion, and therefore, I must act on it. No, inside us, there is a soul, but there is a mind also which has so much of contamination. And uh, therefore, it is not that whatever comes out of me is me, right? It is something else also which is, you know, masking, or it is covering, and uh, it is pretending to me. So, uh, so for this, devotees don't have to make any extra effort, right? Devotee simply practices, bhakti, and Krishna removes that darkness. Krishna will ignite the light, which will make his inner world very much, bright and perfectly right also. So we'll understand that, yes, okay, these are the material desires. They're not good for me. And I will not indulge into, I'll not give up to my mind. I will not indulge it, but instead of that, what I'll do is I will cultivate devotional desires. If something nasty comes up, I say, oh, let me sit and chant. Let me, just, cook something good for Krishna. Let me prepare a quick sweet for Krishna. So the mind will, not trouble us much. See, some people think that, devotees are not intelligent, but all our previous acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Sri Jeev Goswami, Srila Madhacharya, these are, all extraordinarily intelligent people. Extraordinary intelligent people. Like, so that is why, you know, devotee is extremely intelligent or supremely intelligent. Where, in the bhajan it says, Jai Krishna Bhaje, Sei Bharat Chatur. So, in these four verses, Krishna not only demonstrates his supreme position, but he is also demonstrating his, you know, udar, position. That, I care if you just wanted to love me. He's very, बोले ना, कोई बिल्कुल नहीं, बहुत उदार मन से, he is very benevolent. बहुत उदार मन से he is ready to give. So, I'll care for you, care if you just wanted to love me. I care so much that I will personally intervene, and I will give you all the intelligence by which you can come to me. So when he is saying this, what is he telling? That his love, you know, towards devotees, Krishna is making a call to all of us that, see, don't worry, you just follow me and I will provide you everything. In the 9th chapter also we saw, Ananes Chintayanto ma ye jana paripashate. So I always say that Krishna is a reciprocal God. Krishna is not a sadist. Krishna wants us to come back to him. And that is why even a little effort what we do, Krishna at every step will help us. But that first step we have to take towards Krishna. Then Krishna will take those steps towards us. And that is why it is so important to explore our inner home, to identify our inner home, and know that yes, my inner home is actually for Krishna only. My inner world is actually Krishna only. Externally, everything might happen. I might be a mother, I might be a father, I might be a brother, sister, I might be, so many other responsibilities in my office and my business. It is completely outside. But I have an inner world also. And actually, I belong to this inner world. I don't belong to this outer world at all. And that is why it is so important to make Krishna our inner home. When we come, see, in the whole day, when we are doing so many activities, they're all external happening. But when I sit and I'm chanting, or when I'm, reading, or when I'm doing some activity, or when I'm doing cooking, or when I'm doing deity worship, or when I am, talking about Krishna, that's my inner home where I belong to. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Mat chitagata prana. Bodhayantatmas parasparam. This is where I belong to. I belong to this inner world, or that is my inner home where I belong to. And that is why when I come to this inner home, I feel more satisfaction. And that is why I will never leave the lotus feet of Krishna, because I belong to this inner home. I belong to this inner world. And Krishna is my inner world. And I'm meant to serve, Krishna. So this is what is being said over here. So let's see the next shloka. So now from here, another like section starts over here, that Arjuna is accepting Krishna's supreme position, and all these, 4 verses he's hearing, and that is why now Arjuna will glorify Krishna. So Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusha Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibho. He says that, and then he says that Ahustvam Rishiya Sarve Deva Rishir Naradas Asito Devalo Vyasa Swam Chaiva Bravishime. So he says that Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute. You are the eternal, the transcendental, the original, the unborn, the greatest. These are all the characteristics of, Krishna as the Supreme Lord, which Arjuna is describing. All the great sages such as Narad, Asad, Deval, and Vyas confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. So he's feeling, overjoyed that, all these sages definitely have, told, and uh, uh, and they're confirming. But now the best part is even you yourself are declaring it to me, right? So if you see that when Krishna is saying that, this particular shlokas, where he's saying that Param Brahma, Param Dhama, uh, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam. So, when he's saying that, you are, because see now, because when we have completed this Tatir Shloki, okay, and he's giving the essence of this Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is coming to this, conclusion that, that what he has said, that Krishna said that I'm the source of everything and everything comes from me and all that. He will speak all his, he's going to speak that, okay, you're Param Brahma, you're Param Dham, you're Pavitram Paramam, right? And Arjuna is giving his understanding in these verses, right? In these 2 verses, that yes, yes, you are this, because Arjuna will now repeat what Krishna said. Okay, yes, you know that, yes, I now know that my sambandha is with you. I now know that my abhideya is also with you. And now I know that my provision is only you. So it is showing that how this gyan or knowledge is a part of bhakti. It is integrated into bhakti. मतलब क्या है कि जो भक्ति योगा कर रहा है, anybody who is doing bhakti yoga, in bhakti yoga only gyan yoga is there, dhyan yoga is there, karma yoga is there, ashtang yoga is there, and all the yogas are actually integrated within bhakti only itself. So one more aspect of this gyan is that uh, we will move a little more ahead, right? Because when I say that uh, there is a relationship between knowledge and devotion, kuch to sambandh hai. So when he said in the, if you see in the 8th shloka, he says that knowledge only will lead to devotion. है ना? Iti matva bhajate mam, right? Buddhavav samamita. So one who understands this, that Krishna is the source of everything, he is only the ultimate reality, then such a person acquires knowledge and he becomes devoted to, wholeheartedly he becomes devoted to Krishna. And then Krishna is telling that, okay, that knowledge will lead to devotion. And then he says that devotion will lead to knowledge. Their knowledge will lead to devotion, and devotion will lead to knowledge. And then he's saying that devotion will give also knowledge. Bhajate ma bhajatam priti purvakam dadhami buddhi yogam. So even devotion will lead to knowledge. So how to understand is that devotion to knowledge and knowledge to devotion. So somebody might say that, hey, what comes first? Knowledge to devotion or devotion to knowledge? So there has to be some basic understanding about Krishna. Then as we keep on rendering service, our knowledge deepens. Knowledge increases our affection further. And when we serve Krishna with affection, it will give us a greater knowledge, right? And this is a very, wonderful relationship between the two. So when I have knowledge, then I will serve Krishna. And while serving Krishna, then I'm having some realization and I'm having more affection, for which I will require more knowledge. And then again, it goes back and forth. So this knowledge which Krishna is talking about, both in the beginning and in the end, this has, nothing to do with anything which is impersonal gyan. This knowledge is knowledge about devotional or bhakti only to Krishna. Okay. Because the first knowledge he talks about is knowledge of Krishna's glories, right? In the 8th shloka, Aham Sarvasva Prabhu, where he says that. And the second knowledge he's talking about is Dadami Buddhi Yogam. So, this also knowledge will enable me to come closer to Krishna. And that is why this is Bhakti Anukul Jnana. Bhakti Anukul Gyan means which is favorable towards my bhakti, that is that Gyan. Now, like that, there is so much knowledge on the internet. But is that knowledge favorable to devotional service? No, that is not favorable to devotional service. So, which knowledge is favorable to bhakti? The knowledge from the bona fide scriptures is favorable to bhakti. So bhakti yoga is integrating, the bhakti yoga integrates within it jnana, but it is not dependent on jnana. I always say that bhakti yoga is independent of jnana yoga, but it also incorporates jnana within itself. So, in fact, all the processes of yoga, they depend on bhakti yoga only. So, right now also when we are studying, Bhagavad Gita, we are not following the process of Gyan Yoga. because it is just Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. It is bhakti only. And our purpose is uh, 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 Krishna. And our process is also Krishna. And our source is also Krishna. Our sadhan and sadhya is also Krishna only. Our purpose is Krishna, our process is Krishna, and our source is also Krishna. So that is why if you see any gyan of this impersonal Brahman is, not favorable. It is pratikul. It is not anukul. It is pratikul bhakti. And that is why this knowledge or gyan of Bhagwan or Krishna is only anukul bhakti. So here Arjuna is saying that Param Brahma, Param Dham, you are the supreme Brahma. And that is why these Mayavadis, the impersonalists, are very fond of speaking, all these Vedic morphisms like Aham Brahmasmi, which is, true, we are Brahman. It is considered Mahavakya of the Upanishad, and, it's come from Shankaracharya. So it is not Aham Param, Aham Param Brahmasmi. It's simply Aham Brahmasmi, right? So there is a higher reality also. So that reality is Krishna. So who is Param Brahma? For example, if I say I am an Indian and the Prime Minister says, no, I am Indian. So you cannot say that, okay, I am the Prime Minister. So in Brahma also there is diversity of, levels among, even unity. So Param Dhama, he's saying that you are that ultimate abode or that supreme abode, right? Because in the 9th chapter also Krishna said, no, Matsthani Sarva Bhutani. So in one sense, everything is residing in Krishna. Krishna is maintaining everything in the universe. But Krishna is not burdened by that. He is also the supreme abode of our heart's aspirations, right? So that is why saying that Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, the purest and the absolute truth. You are the purest and the greatest. I am contaminated by various sins, but uh, you are not contaminated by any of these, material modes, right? You're not contaminated even by the mode of goodness. And that is why you are the Supreme Bhavan. And see, Bhavan, is actually a respectful, address to the Supreme Lord, to Krishna. And that is why he's saying that Purusham Shashvatam Divyam. Purusham Shashvatam Divyam means what? And he's saying Adi Deva Ajam. See, Purusha is like very clear, Purusha means that, okay, he's a person, personalist, and Shashvatam also is saying, you are that particular eternal also. You are eternal also. So, you are my Lord and you are that Divyam. You are even transcendental also. So, even in the 9th chapter, if you see, Krishna said that Aham hi Adi Devanam Maharshinam. So here Arjuna is saying that yes, you are Adi Dev. There are many gods, but you are the source of all, gods. You are the source of Brahma also and Shiva also and Indra, Chandra, Vayu. Everybody you are the source, and you are Ajam also. So in the 9th chapter, Krishna had mentioned himself as Aja. And Arjuna is saying that he's confirming that same thing again over here also, that yes, Krishna is Aja, that is unborn. And he's saying that Ajam Vibhum. Vibhum means, see, I as a human being, I am Anu. Anu means small. And Vibhum means infinite. bilkul greatest, you are great and I am small, that way. So this is such a, so this particular glorification which Arjuna is making, it's not exaggeration, because a very serious discussion is going on between Krishna and Arjuna, right? Initially, when it was friendly, Krishna did not give any serious instructions to Arjuna in the second chapter, right? Only from that seventh shloka onward, when Arjuna, starts surrendering as a disciple, and then Krishna starts giving him serious instructions. So Arjuna is saying, it is not only I who is saying this, that you are Param Brahma, Param Dham, Pavitram Paramam. No, there are great authorities like Asit Devala and Vyas Muni also. They are also actually giving this particular, uh, you know, uh, confirmation. And these great authorities have not only, verbally saying, but they have studied that subject matter so well. These people are very scholars. Asita Muni, Deval Muni, Vyas Muni. And Vyas Muni is written so many Puranas and Upanishads and the Bhagavatam himself, right? So, all these great sages are saying this. And so see, if you see this Narad Muni and Vyas, they'll come again and again, in this chapter when Krishna is describing his different uh, vibhutis or the opulences. He will say, that among the celestial seers, I am Narad, or among the Munis, I am Vyas. So even Krishna is acknowledging these sages' special position. And Arjuna is saying that, hey, you yourself are speaking now this to me. That Krishna is an, because see, Krishna uh, is is the absolute truth. And when he is speaking something while speaking of philosophy, then that has to be taken as a special, or you can say that absolute authority is speaking. So there is scriptural evidence and there is personal experience, and both are very important. And when both are combined together, then the conviction becomes more very deep also. Because just on the basis of scriptures, we cannot, uh, it will be it will be an endless debate, and it can continue. So ultimately, the authority has to decide what is best for us. And that authority is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came 500 years back. And these experiences in Bhakti Yoga, they are, every time they are repeatable, they are verifiable, and in the sense they are predictable also. So it is not just once in a while, this experience doesn't happen, but it will happen every time with the kind of sentiments one experiences with Krishna. Okay. So, so many times, it must have come from your hearts also. Oh, Krishna, you are great and you are, the best and all. If something has happened, or you must have chanted some good rounds, or must have done some good service, or some a particular, book must have gone from your hands after maybe 5-6 hours on the street. That time, these glorifications, out of gratitude come. And Arjuna is also same, expressing his gratitude. So, having said this, Arjuna is continuing, okay? He's continuing his glorification. He's saying that Sarvam etad kritam manye yanma vadasi keshava na hi te bhagavan vyaktim vidur deva na danava. He's saying that, oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Now, see, this is the essential truth which is, being spoken in this Bhagavad Gita. And uh, uh, he's going to say that, saying that, Sarvam etad ritam manye. I accept whatever you are saying. And then he's saying that, whatever you have spoken, Mam vadasi Keshava. Mam vadasi means whatever you have spoken to me, Keshav, I accept that all. Nahi te Bhagavan Vyaktim. Because uh, he's saying that, O personality of Godhead, O absolute truth, whatever you have revealed to me, Vidur Deva na Danava. This is not even easy for the demigods to understand, nor the demons to understand. It is a difficult subject matter. So there are two different points actually in this. First is, he's saying that, oh Lord, I totally accept what you say. Okay. And I acknowledge also all the four shlokas which Chatushloki Krishna means Krishna said. He's saying that I accept also, I acknowledge also. And that is not easy to understand. It is not easy to understand you. It is very difficult to understand you. So when we accept Krishna, it is not that we have to understand everything what Krishna has said. There will be something which we will not be able to understand. So rather than saying it is false, because I don't understand it is false, we suspend the judgment about it. Right? So see, to understand certain things, no, it requires purification. Right? It requires some adhikar to understand that also. Like, for example, I'll tell you that in the lockdown, no, my younger sister had sent me one video that how to, the intricacies of tying a turban to the DT. Okay. How it should be, symmetry, and how that should be harmony and all. Now that she had sent. So, sorry, I had sent it to my sister, not my sister sent it to me. I had sent it to my sister because I had attended the DT worship course during the lockdown and I had sent it. Now, uh, you know, before lockdown, I was going in the temple to do DT worship. Okay. And that time I was just in my, initial phase of DT worship. Now it's been almost, you can say, 3-4 years of 4 years or 5 years, of DT worship doing now. Now she sends me that same, video back again, because it was, that video has been created by the Chopati devotees. Like, okay. So now when I am revisiting that video, and I totally forgot also that, this video was sent by me. And then when she sends me that video, and when I'm seeing that video again, I said, hey, thank you so much. It is so helpful for me to tie the turban of Krishna now. This will help me a lot. And it will give me a more more in-depth knowledge about how to tie a turban. So she told me that, Didi, you had only sent me this video, during the lockdown. And I said, huh? I sent this video to you? So then that time I realized that time I did not have the adhikar or the qualification to understand. Though I attended that, class, but I was not practicing it as such. And I did not have that qualification also to understand. But consistently doing that, somehow or the other, that video again came back, to me back again. And that's why, so that is what I'm saying, that certain things require purification in us to understand. So momentarily we might just, park it in the car park. But then Arjuna is saying that I accept what you said, but even the devatas cannot understand it. Now somebody might wonder, oh, how can the devatas? Devatas are, even more higher than the human beings also, living entities also on the earth. So, uh, uh, and Srila Prabhupada said that this is the way Bhagavad Gita has to be understood, not half hen logic, the puppet Prabhupada is writing. So, like, for example, in the Christian talks, one person said that, I accept Jesus, but I am not a part of any church. He says that I accept Jesus, but I am not a part of any church. So, when it was asked, why then, the person said, no church goes with my understanding of Jesus. So, it is saying that I'm a patient and but I'm not taking the treatment. Why? Because I didn't find any doctor who agrees with my diagnosis. So whether the doctor is supposed to agree with the patient diagnosis or the vice versa. So now it may happen that there might be many organizations which is not teaching with the proper understanding or teaching, and the people have to be careful about it, but ultimately the patient has to agree with the doctor. He has no other way, right? So somebody might ask that uh, does the horse has to come before the carriage, and or the carriage has to come before the horse, or uh, 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 a horse has to come before the carriage and not carriage before the horse. So how can we know the Gita's meaning? This is actually, a bit, this, you know, uh, that, what is the Gita's meaning? So in the 18th chapter, the Sarva Dharma Parityajya shloka that is there, that is the check of the Gita's message in itself. It's a very clear instruction given by Krishna that yes, there are many paths talked about, but Sarva dharma parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. This is the conclusion. So a teacher can teach the student at various levels also, but at the end, the teacher has to teach the conclusion also. A teacher says, whatever I have taught, forget that. This is what I want you to do. Krishna is saying that Sarva dharma parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. You do this. So and then where will I go and check that understanding of this original student? Then it will come in this 12th shloka, 13th shloka, 14th shloka as such. So we also see that what that student's understanding is, because if the student's understanding was wrong, the teacher would have corrected that understanding. And here Arjuna, who is the student, he is giving his understanding. So, checking the actions as the original student, the first student, Adi student is actually Arjuna. And he is like, walking in this mood of devotion. If you see, uh, the, yeah. So, Arjuna is working in the mood of devotion over here, right? Uh, and then we see that what happened in the Mahabharata later on, because he followed Krishna's instruction, he got up and he started fighting. So when we let Bhagavad Gita speak itself, it is very clear that Krishna is the absolute truth, and devotional service to him is the best means to achieve that absolute truth. Bhakti to him. So if you see even in this, like where, there are, when in Sarva Dharma Paridesha Shloka also, if there are contradictory statements, are present in a conversation, then sometimes they try to even, resolve it. So normal logic is what? Some later statements are, given importance over the earlier statements. Or some irrefutable logic is also there. Like later statement will be rejected, the earlier statements will be taken. So this is what is happening in the Sarva Dharma Parityaja Shloka also. Like that Krishna will say, okay, what are the, previous statements? Forget everything about that. Now what I want you to do is Sarva Dharma Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tam Sarva Papeva Moksha Ishami Masucho. Whatever I've said, you forget that. Now what I want you to do, you do that. So he's saying that give up all these misconceptions, you surrender just to me. I will see to it that you will not incur any sins. I will relieve you from all those sins. Ma Sucha, don't fear. So, this is what he's saying in the 14th shloka. Let's go to the 15th shloka. So, in this 15th shloka, he's saying that only you know yourself. Nobody else can know you. Because the previous shloka is saying that, oh, even the demigods and the demons do not know you. Then who can know you? Only you yourself can know you. So he's saying that Swayam eva atmana Swayam eva eva atmanatmanam Vittha Tvam Purushottama Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jagatpate. So he's saying that indeed you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Lord of the universe is Jagannath. So, Swayam Evad Atmanam, where he's saying that you alone know your own glories. आप अपने महानता को खुद ही जानते हो. And Krishna has, told from his side also. Vedaham samate tani. I know everything. And Arjuna is saying that, hey, you are Purushottama. You alone know your glories. And he is giving, various description words or describing words. He's saying that you are Bhuta Bhavana. You are Bhutesha, or you are Deva Deva Jagatpate. So, there are 5, you can say epithets that are used by Arjuna to glorify Krishna. He is using first as your Purushottama. He's saying that your Bhut Bhavana, the Bhut means what? Living entities. So you are the original source of all the living entities, which Krishna himself has talked in the Bhagavad Gita so many times. The third is saying that he is Bhuta Isha. He is the Lord of or the controller of all the living entities. The fourth is saying that your Deva Deva, your God of all gods. Adi God, you can say like that. And you are Jagatpate. You are the master of the universe. So see, when we go in front of the Supreme Lord also, if you don't have anything to say, you can at least, recite these words. Hey Krishna, you are Purushottama. You are Bhuta Bhavana. You are Bhutesha. You are Deva Deva. You are Jagatpate. Glorifying Krishna. Because Arjuna is also glorifying Krishna. Or you can glorify Krishna as, hey Krishna, you are Param Brahma, Param Dham, Pavitram Param, uh, Param Bhavana, you are Purusham Shashwatam Divyam. And not only, I, but, so many, Asata Devala, Narada, Vyas, they are also actually saying this. This is also one glorification of Krishna. So, Arjuna is saying that you are best among all the persons. And not only best among all the persons, actually, you are the source of all the people. persons, not only the source of all the people, but you're the controller also of all the people. And there may be many controllers. They may have so much of big powers and everything. But you are, Deva. You are the Lord of all the lords. And you are the master of all the universe. So this is what Arjuna is saying. So see, this last sentence, Prabhupada writes. Now, Prabhupada, if you see, in the beginning of the purport and the end of the purport, he gives punchlines. Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by realization of Arjuna. And we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as he is. So what? Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjuna. So we can understand Krishna only by realization, not to any mental speculation or, some word juggleries as such. And when we follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas, we'll be able to understand Krishna more better. Okay. So, having said this, now Arjuna, he is not satiated. Satiated यानी वो संतुष्ट नहीं है. उसको ना और सुनना है. कभी कभी what happens, somebody, even in the Bhagavatam class, if you realize this, okay, that a particular speaker is speaking about Krishna and his glories and his greatness and everything. And you feel, please go on speaking more. Anyor. I want more. I want more. You're not satisfied. So over here also, Arjuna is not satisfied or satiated. उसके हृदय को बोलते ना, उसके हृदय को तृष्णा नहीं मिली. इज नॉट कंप्लीटली तुष्टि पुष्टि संतुष्टि नहीं मिली हुई है उसके हृदय को. He's telling me, please tell me more. I want more. So he's saying that Vaktum arhasi asheshena divya hi atma vibhutaya yabhir vibhuti bhir lokan imastvam vyapayatishhtati. So he's saying that, please tell me in detail your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. So, because in the next few verses, Krishna is going to make some request. He's telling, I want to constantly, know because he's requesting, I want to think about you all the time. I want to know you. I want to remember you. And I want to know that in what all forms you are manifesting. So, this is what he's requesting Krishna, that you please, tell me more about yourself, your opulences, and how you pervade the whole of the material universe. Please talk about them. So, from here onwards, Arjuna has accepted Krishna's conclusion. Arjuna has even become enlightened also. But Arjuna is thinking about the common people also. He is thinking that how will they understand Krishna's glory? So people can look around and keep connection with Krishna, which will help them to remember Krishna all the time, so that is why he's asking questions for the common people. So ahead he says that Katham vidyam aham yogim tvam sada परिचिन्तयान् केषु केषु च भावेषु चिन्तयो asi Bhagavan maya. He's saying that, oh Krishna, oh Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? How shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? Oh personality of Godhead. So, Arjuna's very specific question over here. Generally our journey is from matter to spirit, and in our own observation throughout this world. So through matter, we can actually appreciate the spirit. And this is what, he will tell later on. Krishna will actually reveal that how you can see me everywhere. And Prabhupada is saying that common man, including the demons and atheists, cannot know Krishna because he is guarded by his yoga maya energy. So next he is saying that the 18th shloka. So here he is saying that there is no satiation in hearing about you. Now, विस्तारेण उत्मनो योग विभूति च जनार्दना भूय कथय तृप्तिः शृण्वन्तो नास्ति मे amritam. Oh, this is so nice. That anybody who's hearing about Krishna, he's not satisfied. So what is he saying that? Oh, Janardhan, please, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I'm never satiated in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. That is why we say, na, Bhagavad Gita hai ye. Bhagwan ne gaya hua geet hai. And every word emanating from the Gita is actually nectar emanating from the lotus mouth of Krishna. And the more I hear, the more I'm hearing, I'm not feeling satisfied. I want to hear more and more and more and more and more. So he's saying that, see, this is actually the nature of Krishna Katha, that we want to relish it more and more. People want to read, some good books, so that they do not miss anything. So, great book they wanted to read again and again, because when we read them, there are multiple layers of meaning. See, you also must have realized the first time I read Gita and I'm reading this time the Gita. Maybe you must have read 20 times the Gita. The 21st time you read, every time you read that, there is a layer which is being removed. Layer by layer, you are unfolding, every time you read the Gita. When I'm reading the Gita the first time, first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer. So multiple layers and meanings are being uncovered when we read the. But for this greatest book, see, there is a great book, there are many great books, but there is only one greatest book, and that is the Bhagavad Gita. So for the greatest book, the Bhagavad Gita, the process of discovery is not just one way. It is two ways, So it is not only that we are searching for the meaning, but Bhagavad Gita is a manifestation of Krishna. It itself is revelation of Krishna. Krishna reveals new meanings. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Dhire dhire, his name. So, when, see, uh, which is that shloka in the Bhagavatam. He says, the Naimisharanya rishis are telling to Suta Goswami, which is 1.1 point. Yeah, here it is. Vayam tu na vitripyam uttama shloka vikrame yashinvatam rasa jnanam swadu swadu pade pade. He's saying we never tire of hearing the transcendental pastime of the personal Godhead, who's glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationships with him relish hearing of his pastimes at every moment. Check this out. This is so wonderful. So wonderful. So he's saying that one can never be satiated, even though one continuously hears the pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by even excellent prayers. Those who have entered into that transcendental relationship with Krishna, they are relishing him at every step, every moment, uh, and every step they are, relishing those pastimes. And that is why, even Arjuna over here is interested in hearing about Krishna. So, he's saying that, Vayam tu na vitrupyam, where he's saying that uh, we are not satisfied. Sorry, we are not satisfied. And Uttama Shloka Vikrame, the glories of Uttama Shloka. See, Krishna's one more name is Uttama Shloka. So we are not satisfied with them. But why we are not satisfied with them? Yat Srinvata Rasa Jnanam. So this knowledge is there. That knowledge is not very ordinary knowledge. It is Rasa Jnanam. There is so much of rasa. There is so much of nectar in this. And because of this nectar, what is happening? When I'm relishing in everything, swadu swadu pade pade. At every step, there is so much of nectar in it. It is, and that is why this knowledge is ever fresh. Because Krishna is manifesting through those pastimes, it is such a relishable nectar for us. Because see, if you see, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also is hears his pastime 100 times. You see the fourth canto and the seventh canto, every time he will tell Gadadhar Pandit to read the same. And every time he's, having torrents of, tears on that Bhagavatam. So people often want new things, but they get the same old experience through these new things, which will come under four categories. Either it will come under sleeping, eating, defending, or mating. So externals might be new, but internals are not new. But for devotees, externals may be very old. I might be doing the same thing again and again and again, but my internals will be new. I am doing chanting for many, many years, but there is a new revelation on a daily basis. I might be reading that same verse 100 times, but the inner revelation will be new for me every time. And because what is happening is my impurities will go away and my love for Krishna is revived. And by that particular connection, uh, uh, I connect with Krishna more and more. And because of that, he becomes, he's unlimited. So, we also get unlimited joy. And that is why even our acharyas, the previous acharya, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur also, gives us an example that licking the bottle of honey from outside, those who are licking the bottle honey from outside, they don't get that nectar. So spirituality also gives us variety. So if you see in the material existence, excitement, is there, when you discover something new and all. And in spirituality also, if we are discovering something new, right? So in the material science, excitement is in discovery of new concept. But in spirituality, it is recovery of lost map, which shows us, the path to Krishna. And so when we get the map, then we move along the map. And scriptures are those maps which will help us to, get to the end of or the end of the path, the goal. So Arjuna is relishing this unlimited joy, and he's requesting, Krishna, please describe to me your glories. I will relish them, and this world will come to know. So this world will come to know what? The world will come to know that how can they think of you 24/7, and they can also relish your glories. So over here, which we see that from the 19th shloka onwards, this will go a little in speed. Why? Because Krishna is going to describe his, vibhutis. So say from the 19th till the 39th shloka, another like 20 shlokas, it will be like a swift run only. And then will be like, the 42 shloka and all, a little more of philosophy will be there. So I end my speech over here. If anybody has any doubts, queries, questions, you all are free to ask me. I hope everybody is understanding what I'm teaching. Otherwise, if it is going just above your head, please let me know. Maybe I can help you all out to simplify it more better.
No, Mataji, it's good. Everything is understandable.
Okay, so if nobody has any questions, queries, doubts, we will halt for the day and we'll meet on next Sunday. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Hare
Mataji, next Sunday or Saturday?
I'm sorry, next Saturday. Sorry. I move too fast in the future. So, and I'm thinking actually about tomorrow's Hindi class. So that is why it's like next Sunday I said. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Dandavat.